What's good, everyone? You're listening to WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. We are a student-run nonprofit radio station based out of North Carolina State University. I'm DJ Off Belay, and this is the alt-rap pipeline Deep Cuts, where we interview some of the up-and-coming talent of the alt-rap underground. Today, I'm here with Scubadiver. What's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah, that's so sick. Thank you again. This is awesome.
Yeah, so normally the alt-rap pipeline is just my little radio show, Mondays at 5. You've seen I've tagged you a few times, but this is the first installment of Deep Cuts, so thank you for being the first person I've interviewed, Yeah, so why don't you talk a little bit about what got you into music and why you started making music?
I've been making music for a long time. I think it's since I was like a kid, when I'd have those little like Fruity Loops apps or whatever and just mix stuff around, right? And I think at first it was just like something to, push creativity because I've always been like a creative guy, right? But it grew into something that's like I got better and better at it to the point where I could like formulate ideas and make them uniquely me and finish them and be 100% and not make it sound like unfinished, right? And then it started turning into this whole like, oh, I can do whatever I want now that I have these skills to like mix and, produce and everything. I can take all these weird ideas and just put them in my music. And I think that's where it kind of stems from, is why I love it so much and why I've been doing it for so long,
Yeah, so do you feel that having the skills of not only being able to rap, but also produce your own beats and make your own music, do you think that gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to express yourself on your music?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you do a really good job of sort of complementing your rapping with your production skills. I think you're 17, right? So it's crazy that even though I don't really relate to your music fully and like the stuff you're rapping about, even just you being genuine on your music really connects with me. And I don't know, I feel like it's sort of a trap smaller artists fall in, where they're just like rapping about stuff that you can definitely tell not genuine to them. It sort of sticks out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But like you said, it's also nice for the artist to just sort of be able to freely express and just make honest music. Yeah, sort of like with that, how did you get the name Scubadiver?
I used to make music on like SoundCloud, and it's all privated now. It sucked so bad. It was like early 2018 or something, right? And like I would just post like little demos or instrumentals or just something, and it was all like the worst stuff that I've ever made, right? But it like, grew into what I am now. And like I just thought of the stupidest name possible. Like that was really it, because like normally when you're like a kid or something, you're thinking of like the coolest name ever, right? Like when I'm making Xbox gamer tag or something, it's got to be cool, right? But for me, I did the exact opposite. I was like, what is the first thing that pops into my head, right? And it was just Scubadiver. That was the first thing. It was stupid, it was weird, and it kind of just grew on me because I don't know, man. I just stuck with it. Like, I could have changed it so many times, but I just stuck with it. I don't know. Something about it, man. Like, when I think of Scubadiver, I don't even think of, like, an actual scuba diver. I just think of me. So it's like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, and just the fact, like you said, for instance, you said you started in 2021 making music, right?
Oh, yeah. It was, like, late 2020. I released a mixtape, but I took that off because it's kind of horrible. I might remaster it one day. But 2021 is when I started releasing stuff, taking it seriously, got some traction on like TikTok and all that. So, yeah.
Okay, should be back up now. All right. So since you sort of deleted that off SoundCloud, so Apple Cider Ranch is sort of like your first official release.
Yes, sir.
I feel like for a first release, I know you said like you had the mixtape that you took down, but still, it's super well polished. And
thank you.
Am I right in saying you have no features, or you have like one feature on it? It's pretty like...
Yeah, it was pretty sparse. I got one feature on it for No Oath just because I was so obsessed with having like just random people on my songs or just like extra voices, because I thought like if it was just me it would sound lonely, but like I didn't have any clout, so I just like I think I made like a TikTok or something like, anybody want to be on this project? Like I just want to hear some people, right? And that happened. Poser Boy, and he's pretty dope. And yeah, that's like the only feature on the project. I don't even know. It's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you kind of touched on it. You said you didn't really have any clout, so it's harder to reach out to people. But I was wondering if like that's sort of what changed, was like you had the like clout to reach out to people, or sort of like you just started wanting to invite more people on. Because I was just curious about how like your music making process has changed from Apple Cider Ranch now to Godspeed 2, which is just like full of features, and it's not even just like features you're throwing on for the name. I feel like they all serve the
like
song really well that they're on. Yeah, like the song you got with Shy High, I feel like, I mean, he still has like his Shy High sound when he comes in, you know, just like rambling with the intro, but it's still like he's on a Scubadiver song for sure. Like,
yeah, that's a huge compliment. Yeah, I was always inspired by like, you know how Kanye gets like a bunch of people on like his albums, and that like Chief Keef on Hold My Liquor, that would not have worked if it was another artist. You know what I mean? But like it's, you know, so it's like I always got inspired by that. But like in the Apple Cider Ranch time, it was like I didn't have anybody. You know what I mean? Like it was just me, like me and my like 4 monthly listeners or whatever. When I was pumping out just random albums because I thought it was cool, right? Yeah. And like then, you know, when I get a bit of traction, it's like, oh, I have all these people hitting me up from DMs, and I can use their voice in different ways and put them as features. And like Frank Sativa on Junior Ballad on Godspeed 2, like he's such like a smooth voice, right? And putting him on this like smooth, like almost electric piano-esque synth, right? It's like awesome. Shy High, obviously, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was scared to ask for like a Shy High feature because like he's so much bigger than me. Like he's clouded out, right?
Yeah.
So I DM'd him. I was like, it's okay if you say no, bro, but like I have this song and like I can only hear you on it. Like this is a Shy High like beat kind of, right? In like a way, right? The same vibe. And he was like, bro, don't even hesitate. Send it over. And like 2 days later, I get this verse back, and I was like jumping up and down in my room listening to it. I was like, oh my god, it was so good. And yeah, I think features have I've always wanted to have features on my music. It was just a matter of incorporating them in some way. So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember where I saw you say this. I think it was on TikTok or some Instagram story or something. But you said you used to sort of like, or maybe not even used to, just now you sort of hesitate from collaborations just because you move so fast, and it's like a lot of the time you have to wait for people to send.
That's true. I'm always I don't know. I think what it is I've kind of gotten to a new space with music where, like for Godspeed 2, it was like making a couple songs and then like hold on, I'm in the middle of an interview. Jeez. Anyways, I was in the middle of making a couple songs and like, you know, I would make these things and I would build them from the ground up, and then I would like there'd be like 15 songs and I'd go down to 10 or something, right? Mm-hmm. But now what I'm doing is I'm making constant of these like little demo songs, and the ones that have the real potential, I build them up, and it's almost like I'm like moving from song to song so much, and like if I'm sending a feature out, like, and they don't get back to me in 5 days, I've already finished the song. You know what I mean? Like it's like because I'm working so much. And maybe that's a good thing, but like it's like I don't know, because I guess I've gotten more confident in my voice too, so it's like I can use it. I don't really need that extra feature on there anymore. You know what I mean? Even though they're really dope. So yeah, I think I don't know. It's just me working fast, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like you put out so much music. I feel like in the underground scene, I don't even know if if the underground scene is even a thing anymore, just because how many people are out there, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I feel like in the music that I listen to, the small artists, you just release so much more music, especially with Oscar Tate. It just sort of doubles up. I feel like every few months, new Scubadiver.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. Do you think that's sort of you're out of the usual, like out of the normal with your peers in the scene with releasing music with how you do it, or do you think everyone just has their own different thing?
I think it's interesting because when I look at myself, I don't release enough. Obviously with Oscar Tate, I don't think of Oscar Tate as like an add-on to Scubadiver. I think of it as its like own separate little entity of just demos and stuff I put out, right? And obviously I'm making so much music. There's stuff that you don't even hear on Oscar Tate. There's stuff I, produce for people. There's stuff that are in songs on my files. There's stuff on the actual Scubadiver stuff, right? I make so much music that sometimes there's not really an outlet to put it out on, so it's like Oscar Tate or something. But like in terms of like Scubadiver, I feel like I don't even produce that much. Put out as much music, because say there's someone like, Perry Mason, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that dude releases so much music. It's actually crazy. He released like 2 albums. He's releasing a mixtape and another album all this year. It's like 4 projects and then singles in between. I'm like, can you like chill out? Like seriously, like, because here's the thing, he's releasing so much. It's like, oh my god. And then like I look at somebody like Shy High, right? And he releases maybe once a month or once every 2 months, and it's like, oh, you gotta release more, bro. You got so much. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I myself, I feel like I release a little bit less than other people, but it's interesting to see how other people see it. It's really cool.
Yeah. How do you feel that like social media and I guess especially TikTok, because that's how I found you. How do you feel like that influences not only like releasing music and like giving fans what they want, but also just making music? Because I feel like nowadays music is all getting a lot shorter and a lot even like something we've been talking about in the radio is it gets a lot louder nowadays. We have to like cut down people's audios. It's just like kind of fighting for the short attention span. I feel like you're a lot different though. All your songs are like 3 to 4 to 5 minutes. How do you feel that like social media changes your like music making process?
That's actually a sick question, because I think about this all the time, right? Because TikTok, it's so like it's so short attention span, right? You gotta get people with a 15-second clip or less, right?
Yeah.
I feel like with TikTok, just all the stuff that goes around is normally like, you know, the trending sounds are like, you know, like the hyper pop or like the Playboy Cardi edit thing, right? And so I think that actually transforms itself into that high mixing and mastering is what you're saying, is because like the bass boost on these audios for TikTok, which originally started out as just something to like get people's attention, it's like subconsciously over all these years going to people's heads like this is normal kind of. And I think I feel that too a little bit, is like the bass needs to be louder or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the shorter platforming, I mean, it can work, you know what I mean? Like Shy High, he's got like 2-minute songs and they feel complete, right?
Yeah.
But like when I make like a 2-minute song, I feel like I should add more, you know what I mean? I feel like there used to be an outro or an intro or something, and like I don't know, like it sucks how almost every one of my songs comes out to like 3 minutes or 4, because it's not gonna get playlisted, but it's also like it's very true to me, you know what I mean? Because if it was just cut down, it would feel like it would feel like a mini TV series being cut down into a movie. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel complete in that sense to me. Like a lot of people aren't doing outros. People are going, you know, 2 choruses, 1 verse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there can be more to this song. You know, when I'm building a beat and I hear this like little chop I do, if I put some chords over it and I'm like, oh wait, these chords fit good with this chop, and you know this guitar sample fits amazingly with these string samples, right? And I just lengthen it out and I add more layers on top of it, and then you know before you know it, it's a whole other beat switch stemming off of this one string section that I made just to accent, you know, some guitar, and it's like a completely different song by the end. That's so awesome, but nobody really does it too much anymore, which really sucks. I think, you know, people are moving, you know, it's more commercially viable, right? Like it is, you know, you get more playlisting, you get more, you know, streams, people are replaying your song because it's too short, but like, you know, it's like, I feel like, you know, if you can do it and you can make it work, do it. Like Shy High, prime example, amazing with the 2-minute songs, but I feel like if you've got a really good song, like don't be afraid to drag that out, you know?
Yeah.
Like Runaway, one of Kanye's most iconic songs. It's 9 minutes. It's like 10 minutes long, right? Yeah. Like the outro of that song is like 2 times longer than some songs that are blowing up on TikTok, right? So it's like, I mean, I think it's about the art, and I think, you know, TikTok and all these, you know, social medias that, you know, have these high energy, low, what's the word? Low, I don't know. Low attention span, like music and stuff, right? It's like it kind of kills the art in a way, but at the same time, I get it. You know, I really do get it, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's a crazy influence. It's like you would think it'd maybe be like, oh, just a little bit, but bro, people are making like 2-minute songs, less than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
bro, more people are pitching up their vocals and speeding up their songs than ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because that's like a thing that happens. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a crazy influence. That's like, it's legitimately changing kind of the underground scene and making more people listen to these interesting things than ever. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, weird audios pop up all the time. People get used to them and they just listen to them. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's very interesting. I love it a lot, but, you know, it does kill art in a way.
Yeah, I feel like with what you were saying with how it's letting more interesting music be seen by more people, I feel like in the same sense that music's getting shorter, it's even better now to sound weird and not sound normal. So sometimes that plays into it too. But yeah, I liked how you brought up Shy High, because he's just like the prime example of, I feel like he goes so hard on the social media and TikTok stuff where like before he even releases a song, even I know all the words to it, and I'll be playing a song like, as it releases, and I'm already singing along. I'm like, how does he do this?
It's great. It's great marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I think it even, I actually don't know. I was gonna say it's probably takes more talent or more like care to do a longer song, but I feel like it takes skill to do both. You know, you got to be catchy and like really condense it to have something be that short.
Yeah.
I feel like probably because you're doing all the production on your music too, it gives you a lot more freedom to like you said, like if you just like the chords of one song, you can stretch it out, and then by the end it'll be an entirely new song after you've been playing with it. That's probably something that helps a lot.
100%.
Yeah. I feel like one thing I appreciate that you do too is the whole album release. That's just something I feel like might be lost soon. Is just the album rollout.
Bro,
like
I know.
The Apple Cider Ranch is just like a completely different vibe to Stealing Traffic Cones, which is just like short and condensed and just like what's going on here. And then the next one's Godspeed 2. Like it's nice when it kind of gives me like Tyler the Creator vibes, where you just like switch up every new album. You know, like Igor to Flower Boy to Wolf is just different.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I think the album format is so good. Like here's the thing. I think the album is probably like my favorite medium of art. Like it beats movies. It can beat a TV show for me. Like just an album, bro. Yeah. Like, and I feel like, you know, you got some artists out there. You know Black Midi, right? Probably. Yeah. I don't know. Probably. Okay, Black Midi, bro. Their albums are crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, in every song transitions into the next, and it's all different, but it all is cohesive, and it's like perfect, right? Yeah. And you got other artists that pump out like 30-song albums of the same song, and it's like, oh man, you know what I mean? I feel like people just, and you know, it's like that thing we said again, where like the culture is kind of going to shorter songs. You barely see albums like over 30 minutes from these newer artists, and that's because, you know, it's more, you know, commercially viable or whatever. But like, man, albums are so good. Like, just the feeling of, like, listening to an album where it's cohesive and it's different and it's creative, but it has all these quirky bits and outros and intros that are, like, very glorious. Like Igor, bro. The first time I listened to Igor, I thought I was dying. Like, it was so good. Like, it was, like...
It, like, takes you.
Bro, all
like,
these little
you gotta
chords.
Listen to it.
It was so weird. And it was the most insane thing, because that was like one of the first albums I listened to in full when I started getting into music. So it was like I started with like one of the coolest things ever, and like, bro, just like hearing all that's so inspiring. It's because it just takes you on like a literal journey, and that sounds so pretentious and cliche, but it does. Like it literally, you know, from Igor's theme to like Are We Still Friends, you're like, dang, that was crazy. There were some weird sounds in there. It made sense, and it was, oh god. I mean, I could talk about like different albums all day. I really, really hope they don't die, because like, you know, streaming kind of kills it a bit. I think streaming could help by like, you know, spotlighting albums like they do singles a little bit more or something. But like, man, the albums are crazy, and like if you find the right one, it can literally be the soundtrack for a month.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it can highlight a part of your like life.
Yeah,
and it's great.
I feel like one of my favorite things to do is whenever I go on like vacation or like go on a trip, I'll pick a new album to be like, I'm gonna listen to this while I'm here, and then whenever I come back to the album, like you said, it's like the soundtrack to my life. Just like going back.
Bro, that was, yes sir. That was 2 years ago. I took it was a summer trip to Michigan, bro. I listened to Pimp a Butterfly for the first time. That album is like very heavy lyrically, right? But just the first time I listened to it, I was just kind of like listening to it, and the beats and the jazz and like, oh, this is nice. Bro, Blacker the Berry was my favorite song for such a long time, because like even though the lyrical subject is like I can't personally relate to it, you know what I mean? But like, bro, the energy, the beat, that like jazz switch up where it's like at the end, like people don't talk about that. Like that outro of that song where it's all this jazz, he's like, it's like, oh my god. So like, bro, like I know exactly what you're talking about, and like, yeah, it's great. I love albums so much.
Yeah, it always is like, I guess it might be riskier, like you said, it's not commercially viable, and if you are releasing like an hour-long album and someone's not into it by the first 2 tracks, are they gonna commit? I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it makes you really want to like deliver off the bat. I'm just looking at the Godspeed 2, like track list. I feel like it starts off. I mean, actually, it starts off with collaborate, and Jimi Hendrix, which are both like high energy, psychedelic
High
rapping.
energy,
But then you go
yeah.
into Immortal Solo, which is just not definitely not.
Bro, it's like apocalyptic and like so weird, and then it transitions. Like I love albums that just have that weird flow, cause I'm trying to think about it. Like, when you listen to, and I'm not gonna try and gas myself up, but Godspeed 2, like when you go to Die in Your Own Arms, that fourth song, and you're like thinking of like what comes up next, like it's almost like a map. You can visually kind of hear what comes, or not. I don't know how to explain it, but to me, it's like. I don't know, like when you hear that, like those chords of Die in Your Own Arms, you're like, oh, this fits into this part, and the thing that came before it makes sense, and you remember the structure of the album after you're done with it because like it was so interesting in sort of a creative way, right? And like I'm not trying to gas myself up. I'm sorry, it's coming off so bad right now. But like,
I mean, this is the time.
That's what I got.
This is the time to gas yourself up.
Yeah, this is the time. But yeah, like, I feel like that type of thing is amazing. And that's what really makes a good album. Also, I want to make this analogy real quick because, talking about, how artists don't really, don't think, albums are commercially viable. And that's probably true at first. But, like, I'm going to make an analogy to Breaking Bad, right? Now, that show, I saw an interview with Bob Odenkirk, Saul Goodman, best character of all time. He said that Breaking Bad wasn't popular for, like, the first 3 seasons. Right? Now, looking back, 15 years later, it is like one of the biggest shows and people are talking about it and it's the best show of all time in many people's eyes, right? I think that's the same thing with an album. I bet when The College Dropout came out, people thought it was a pretty cool listen, and then like 15 years later, it's a 10 for everybody. Yeah. Whole Lotta Red is like the closest thing we've gotten to that, where it's like 2020, it was very polarizing, and now you got Yeet and you got Jaleel and you got all these people, you know what I mean? So I think it's like, at first, for an underground artist, it might not be perfect to release an album. You might want to just keep doing that single train. But for the legacy and for the culture, when people look back in like 20 years and they look at that album or mixtape you put out with that hour of music on it that like highlighted a part in their life, they're going to be like, yeah, that was a solid album. And I remember that. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, there's something about that. That's just perfect.
Yeah, I think you put that really well. It's way better for the long run and like the legacy. I like how you said that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like, yeah, even just like your 2-year run you got right now, the 3-album legacy is already like, I don't know, solid. It's solid.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, I know. I feel like, I mean, we already sort of touched on this, how you change with each album. But I do like how you have sort of like concept-y albums, if that makes sense. Especially Stealing Traffic Cones.
Sir.
It's like, you kind of leave up a lot for interpretations in that one, especially with all the weird, like, I guess skits, you'd call them, like coming in and out, talking to yourself,
like
talking to
little
Scubadiver.
Spoken word, yeah.
I feel like that's something you can't really do in a single. Like, you kind of have to do that sort of stuff in an album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it adds such, like, way more flavor, too. Because, I mean, think about it, like, bro, there was, like, I think people just don't realize, like, half the reason like a concept album is like good is because it kind of, I'm trying to think how to word this, but it's like if the concept is strong enough, you can really kind of like, it almost has like a humor to it and it gives the album life, or if the concept is very serious, like To Pimp a Butterfly, even though you have those like fun moments in there, like the For Free, where he's rapping over this jazz thing, right? It's like this poem throughout the album, it keeps you hooked. It's very serious, and it's like it gives the album like a life. You know what I mean? It's not soulless. It's not like the first track fades out and the second track comes in with the same trap beat, and then it fades out and it's the same thing. Maybe there's an interlude of somebody rapping over like a cappella or something. You know what I mean? But like it's these like interludes with this personality, I think they're really underrated. People need to do that more often, man. Like, for real. It's crazy.
I like how you made the distinction where you can sort of be serious, like To Pimp a Butterfly, or just be fun with it, like with Stealing Traffic Cones. It doesn't have to be like this concept album is game changing and no one's ever done anything like this.
100%. You just gotta have fun with it. Here's the thing: if you're making an album and you have like an idea and you're like, I want this to sound like, bro, like I don't know, some sort of like Mad Villainy-esque party or something, right? You're just gonna, and you have this vision in your mind, just go for it. Because I mean, anything that you think of, if you complete it 100% like in your mind and like you execute it perfectly, it's going to be a good album no matter what, because it's your idea and you think it's good, and that means you know, if you think it's good, obviously you're going to, you know, think it's dope when it comes out, but like other people are going to recognize that you had this idea and you completed it perfectly and it's out there and it's, you know, it does what it does. It doesn't need to be serious, it doesn't need to have like all these different, you know, commentaries on like, you know, serious topics. It can just be a fun out there little vibe that you put on in the car, you know, maybe with your friends, you know, at the beach or something. You play a couple songs, like it's something cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I just wish more people would be putting out albums, but I guess it does put more like serious.
Facts.
It makes like the releases more serious, which maybe if you're like a small up and coming artist, I don't know, it just might put you in a box, but I don't know. I think we both agree people need to be releasing more albums.
100%.
Where do you sort of see yourself, like, I mean, you've only been doing it for like a few years. I guess where do you see yourself now in your career, and sort of like what do you want to be doing in the next year?
Man. Shoot, it feels like I haven't, like, I don't even know, man. It feels like I'm not, like, right now, I'm at the highest monthly listeners I've ever been, right? But, like, it doesn't feel like that. It feels almost like, you know, where I was a year ago, where I was just making music in my room and then putting it out. Like, almost, like, you know, I've grown production-wise and all that, but it just feels like, you know, I'm just like that same dude in the room making the music, right? So it's interesting. I don't know where I'll be a year from now. I'm senior year right now. I still got school and everything. A year from now, I'll probably be in college or some sort of internship or, you know, whatever. And, like, I'll still be doing music all the time, but it's going to be interesting to see where, you know, if the numbers add up or something like that, you know what I mean? Which it doesn't really matter, but it's just very interesting. But, yeah, like, right now, I just see myself as just the same kid, you know, a few more people looking at him. That's about
it must
you
be
know what I mean?
sort of, not confusing, but just, like, weird to have all this, like, clout, I guess how you said, but just like where it's only really online and like you still have to go to school, and it's you've said in a few of your songs, I don't know if it's still the same, but I feel like in a few of the songs in Apple Cider Ranch, you just like mentioned the fact that no one in your class is going to hear these songs, so you can talk like crap about them. It doesn't really matter. Like
yeah, that changes a bit when you get a little bit of, you know, I don't know, because here's the thing, I've never told anybody like verbally like, hey man, I make music, right? But people just find out. Yeah. They just know, like, for some reason. I never really thought of it, like, you know, if a TikTok gets, like, 1 million views or something and people just see it from my school and they notice it. I've never really thought about that, but it is that happens, you know what I mean? And, like, I haven't told anybody, but it feels like almost everybody knows now, which is crazy. But it's cool, you know. They're not like, hey, man, send me a beat. I mean, some people are like that, and it gets kind of annoying, but, you know, I get it. But, like, you know, they're pretty chill about it. We'll still talk about something weird at school or just like a project we got coming up, you know what I mean? It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I don't know where you're located, but I was just wondering if you've done any like shows or like live performances, or if you have any of those sort of like coming up, anything like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm in Indiana right now. I'm in the middle of nowhere, by the way. Like, it's just corn. That's all it is. It's just, like, you know, like farms and stuff. And it's a vibe. You know what I mean? It's a vibe. I got, like, a farm with a bunch of corn, like, maybe, like, less than a quarter mile from my house, bro. And it's got, like, a nice little sunset. You know what I mean? It's pretty chill. Take some people there. You know, take a little bit of a girl there. You know what I mean? You know, have some fun. But, like, it's a very boring city. And I've never done a show, and the truth is I'm actually petrified of doing a show, because imagine you have this energy but it just comes off corny or something. Like, what if it flops? You know, it's like, it's such a big fear, right? I think that just, you know, shoot, man, I don't even know. It's just it's a scary thought, but I'd love to do a show one day. I'd love to do a show that's really chill. I talk about this a lot in like my lives on Instagram or something, but like, bro, if I just set up 3 or 4 couches on the stage and just invite people up and we just chill out and I get some like tacos or something, you know, and we're just talking and the music is still playing and I'm still performing it, but it's more like a hangout and it's more just like having fun with your favorite artist or one of their favorite artists. I shouldn't be I shouldn't be egotistical about it, but like, it's just having fun and hanging out with one of your favorite artists instead of just like watching them perform like a puppet. You know what I mean? I just love the fact of just like being even ground, you know? That's better to me.
I feel like, I mean, I'm in Raleigh, so it's definitely probably way bigger than wherever you are in Indiana. I feel like there's definitely I don't know. I noticed there's like a certain type of performances that people are always going to, and it's more like not like you were saying where it's like hanging out with your favorite artist. It's more the fact like I'm trying to get my sound out. So like you're saying, it is a lot more of like a performance.
Yeah.
I guess it's in the name live performance, but people are trying to put on like, hey, this is me. I'm giving you like a snippet of what you can find online. It's more like an advertisement than like a fun event until you get to the size where it's like your name is bringing the tickets.
It's like stadiums. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I do think that like underground shows, they just need to be redone. You know what I mean? Like, there's some shows that like you get some people there and it's such a vibe. Like you get like 100 or so people in there and you're just vibing out and you have those numbers to just, you know, pump the room up with energy. But like if you're performing to like, you know, less than 20 people or something, just make it a vibe. You know what I mean? Just like have fun with it. Do some comedy or something. Just some crowd control. Be fun with it. Like I don't know, if I'm going to do a live show, especially if it's like a smaller show, if I'm not like opening for anybody or something crazy, like it's going to be more of a vibe than just like a stage performance. It's going to be like, bro, like rock, paper, scissors competitions on which song plays next type of thing. It's going to be like I'm bringing food and I'm handing it out to people. It's going to be like, you know, bringing people up on stage and just like having a dance off or something stupid. Like it's just going to be a vibe. Yeah. That's what I really want to do. And like, you know, make it a hangout.
I feel like I got similar vibes. I went to a Young Wabo listening party, and it was definitely sort of vibes you were saying. It was for the Mirage EP, and it was just like in his backyard in Virginia. It was like 12 people. Half of the people there, all his friends, were just like hanging out. Just listening to the new album.
I saw that on his Instagram story too. I saw on his Instagram, bro. I want to meet Young Wabo so bad. We have a few songs in the vault, but like.
Dude, he's so nice. Like, I don't know. I've only met him twice because I've been to live shows, and I've sort of talked to him on DMs with like getting clean edits and stuff like that. But he's just, he's such a nice guy. I don't know. He like recognized me at the second show. I was not expecting that. He was just and at the Mirage show, like I don't know, there's like 12, maybe 20 of us, but he still took time to like talk to everybody and like ask them where they came from.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wabo's such a stand-up guy. Wabo's amazing. He is so chill, bro. He DM'd me one time. I remember he said something about like he used to be a D1 player, right? He was like I don't know what he was, but he's a big guy, right? But he used to be a bigger guy. He used to bench 405. I was like, are you kidding me? Because that's more than my squat, and I'm like I'm a pretty big guy. You know what I mean?
No,
but like,
he's tall. I remember that when I saw him. He's a big guy.
He's a beast. I love Wabo.
Yeah.
Wabo's amazing.
What other sort of like underground artists that you're sort of vibing with? Not necessarily the ones you've collabed with. We've already talked about Shy High and Perry Mason.
Yeah. Shoot. Let me think. You know, I really do vibe with Shy High on like not even like a collaborator level, just like as he's got his own sound. You know what I mean? It's like almost like. Shoot, I don't even know how to explain it. It's very chill. It's almost like I can't really compare him to anybody. When I listen to him, I just think of Shy High. Like he just has his own sound, which I think is amazing. Frank Sativa, he's got his own sound. It feels like every song he puts out, even if like, you know, it's just a slower or a faster or just any type of song, he makes it work for him, and it's so good. Gal the Arsonist, oh my gosh, like. Bro, Sludge God, for real. He got some crazy. His album, what is it called? I'm blanking on it. It's not Autopsy of a Degenerate, which is his first one, but it was his second one. It's got the song Home on it. I don't know. I'm really blanking, and I'm sorry, Gav, if he's hearing this for whatever reason. But bro, the
one before that.
No, it was it's his earliest one, or no, his the one he released like just now.
Bones are artifacts.
It was Yes, Our Bones Are Artifacts, bro. That thing is crazy.
I got Beautiful and Bleed downloaded on that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Bleed is so good. I love that song. Like, I think Gal, they're like 3 people in the underground that distinctly have their own sound. And I'm trying to do that as well, where, you know, I have my own distinguishable sound. But it's Shy High, it's Gal, and it's Overpaid. Those 3 people have their own sounds, and whatever music they make, it can be out there as like rap or hyper pop or singer-songwriter. It can just be them. You know what I mean? Like that, it's just them. Like when you hear it, it could fit into anything that they made.
Yeah, I think
that's
Overpaid
amazing.
has a really good, like, I don't know. I want to say like audio signature. Like you can hear his voice. It's so like the way he makes it. Not even just his voice, but yeah, just the way he sounds on every song is It's
he mixes it.
It's like that hyperpod, like
vocals down 10 dB. Yeah.
I'm scrolling through the alt rap pipeline sort of file to see if I got any other ones you might know. You like Medhane and
what did he make? I know him, and I know it's a song.
Routine?
Okay. Oh, shoot. It's like a cover, and he's like near a car.
Dolo Meals? Dolo Meals?
I don't know, man.
Maybe. I played that one last week.
Shoot. That doesn't ring a bell. I don't know. I listened to him on Spotify in like 2020. Bro, I had this giant phase of like Fortnite Save the World, bro. I don't even know. Like the zombies one, not even like the regular. I had a phase, and I would just listen to music on Spotify and play that game and like zone out. And I remember he was in rotation with this like one song that I listened to every time. I'll look it up, but
do you listen to Quamze? Yeah.
Quamze, I do, bro. Quamze is crazy. I love Quamze. Quamze is like their production's very cool too. Everybody they work with is amazing. Hold up, let me look them up real quick on my Apple Music, because I know there's this one song that I love from them that's like always there. It's on their Motherland EP.
Oh, by
it
Quamze.
Was, I believe it was. How do you say goodbye? I believe is the song that I love by them, because that song's. I mean, they're just good. They don't have a lot of stuff out, which
and
sucks.
Even I don't really know a whole lot about them, but I know they have. I know Kwame Adu does a lot of solo stuff too. I don't know if Zay All Caps does much solo stuff.
Yeah.
But it's always nice. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, they don't have much out. They have like 2 5-minute EPs. Not 5 minutes, but 5-song EPs. Young Wabo's great. Redville's great. I feel like Redville's even breaking out of the underground now. I feel like he's.
Oh yeah, it's great.
He's definitely the
awesome.
first person with the sort of sound of the underground that I heard and really got into.
Bro, yeah, it's that dude's amazing. It just seems like everything's going good for him, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like I love Redville, but like on some real stuff, like I'm kind of jealous. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna try and like hide it right now, bro. Every artist who is going to hear this, or anybody is gonna hear this, they're gonna agree with me, bro.
Oh yeah.
Redville is a talented guy, but like it could have been me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'd take it.
Who knows?
But you know what I mean. Bro, for real. No, but I love Redville. He's great. But yeah, I think I speak for everybody when I say like that type of like growth is just like it's a dream. You know what I mean? Like that is amazing. Where you don't even have to switch up your sound. People just like vibe with it. You don't have to go pop. You don't have to switch up anything.
Yeah.
You don't got to make your song short. It's just there. You know what I mean? Shoulder off of his new album is like one of my favorite songs by him.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it
minutes,
is. I think it's on the longer side. They're like 4 minutes. Yeah. I love that song, and there's a reason.
Yeah,
that it's my favorite.
I feel like I don't know. I'm sort of outside of the music part, like the creation part of the underground. But even still, I feel like there's so many nice people that are just willing to work. It seems like such a collaborative energy right now, which I don't know if I feel like that's not normal for rap.
Yeah, it reminds me. Somebody said this in one of my DMs or something. They said like the underground scene right now kind of reminds me of that 2016 SoundCloud going on, you know. And I was like, that's very interesting, because like obviously you have all these different sounds coming together, right? But it's like, you know, just like the personalities and people, it's almost like there's like a big like 10 that you like recognize when you think of like, you know, the underground coming from like the Instagram and TikTok promotion stuff, right? And it's really cool. I think that's awesome.
It's so cool to like just like find a new artist and then go through their like vault and see that they have like features with all the other artists that I've been finding recently. It's really cool. Like when you dropped with Perry Mason, I was like, of course. Real. That just makes so much sense. I don't know why. I feel like
Perry's dope. I love Perry. Actually, I hit him up on FaceTime to see if this mic was good quality. Like before this interview, I was like, "Hey Perry," because I called him and he was live or something, and he called me back and I was like, "Hey Perry, does this mic sound good?" And I tapped the mic a few times and he's like, "Yeah." And I switched to the one that was bad and he's like, "That's worse." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And he got mad at me like, "That's all you wanted?" And then I hung up on him.
Yeah, I've talked to him a little bit in the DMs. He needs to reply to me though to get this interview set up.
That's what's up.
Let me see. Yeah, I feel like we've talked about a lot of what I wanted to talk about with you. Anything you want to talk about, sort of that we didn't really touch on?
Shoot, man, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
On a personal level.
Sort of started a new semester
That's what's
at
up.
college. I feel like this semester got a lot more going on. Seems like I feel like last semester I was maybe more busy with classes and in my head, but now I have like more stuff going on for myself. It's a real confidence booster, you know. Instead of just going to classes like
Yeah, that's awesome.
out here.
Also, your beard's dope. I want to just let you know that. I like the facial hair. It really suits you. You look really good.
Thank
And that's just me being genuine, not trying to gas you up.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I feel like right now I
But
kind of just have it out of laziness because if I shave, then I have to start shaving like every week. It's just I'd rather just grow it out.
Nah, it looks
Yeah,
good. It looks
so
good.
I guess, I mean,
But
out in
yeah.
Indiana, not much of a live music scene, like you said. You have plans after? I guess you're a junior,
Yeah.
so have one more year, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I just turned senior, so yeah, I got
So,
a
yeah,
year.
I guess-
So yeah, we're chilling.
Yeah, I guess you already said plan is just to keep doing what you're still doing. Any like new up and coming releases, like albums that you have like sort of the idea for, or
Bro, I got this one album. I got the idea for it, right? I got the concept, I got the sound, I got
That's
the
what you need,
style. And actually, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, bro, because Godspeed 2, when I started it, I was very inspired by Radiohead. Like Kid A, all that ambient stuff, right? All the stuff that was out there and kind of had this like vibe to it. Now I'm very inspired by like jazz music, right? And I'm just like incorporating all this jazzy stuff, whether it's like almost like a bebop type thing or it's more ride cymbals or it's a saxophone solo or something. Like it's just very interesting, right? And you know what I used to do is listen to an album every night, like before I go to sleep or something, just like as I'm falling asleep. It used to be like, like Brockhampton or just like a Kanye or something, just to put me to sleep, or you know what I mean? But like now I'm like, I think it was like 3 or 4 nights ago, I was like, well, I'm making this kind of jazz-centered project right now. It's very jazzy, very like out there, some weird time signatures and stuff on these like bridges. Why don't I just listen to some jazz music and like subconsciously, get all this information from these like, like John Coltrane and all these people, right? And just like, subconsciously sort of implant that in my brain as I'm falling asleep. So like when I wake up, I kind of have more ideas and more, ways to incorporate it, right? And I noticed like a lot of jazz musicians, maybe it's because they were mastered for vinyl, but the trumpet is on like the left side of the headphone and the drums are all the way on the right. And it's very interesting. I don't know. I might have to use some of that information.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, like you said before, having the concept and the sound is sort of the first step. It seems like now you just got to put the time in and grind them out.
100%. Oh, yeah. I think also, like, the artists who just release, like Kanye, going from, like, Yeezus to Life of Pablo to, like, all these different albums, like, those are the best type of artists because they're not really doing the same thing every time. That's what I want to do 100% because I got so many ideas. It's crazy. I got this one idea for an album. It'd be, like, really like folk centric, like acoustic guitars, maybe some like acoustic drums, almost like country inspired in a way, but like got all these different sounds in it, like rock and rap and break beats and 90s and stuff, right? I like just mesh it in a crazy way and have like an overall aesthetic. But I really want to do that, but I don't know how to play guitar, so that's probably not gonna come out for a while.
Yeah,
but like I just have these ideas, man. Like bro, like imagine like an album where throughout the whole thing, you know how like Kids See Ghosts is very cohesive in the way that like it fuses rock music and hip hop and like samples and like synths. Like imagine like an album that just has that cohesion of all these different genres, like rock and house music and like electronic music and hip hop, like just combined, bro. And then on top of that, you've got these like nice little outros that blend everything together and like these little, there's like an overlying concept. It can be something as stupid as, bro, I had this album I did where it was before Godspeed 2. I had this idea for another album. It was like a 30-minute album called Bank, where it was just the plot of the concept was just about this guy who goes to a bank and he's waiting in line, and every other song or two there'd be like a little interlude of this dude talking to somebody in line working at a bank or like waiting for their turn at the bank or whatever. And then over time, to the last track, he would find out that it's just a giant like test, and he's in this some sort of like box or like tube or something, and they're monitoring him, and it's like his reality breaks or something, and like all this different like conversations he had with these people at the bank foreshadowed it in some way, and they were trying to get into his psyche, and the last song was like a giant like interrogation or something, and this dude's freaking out. Like, it was just such an interesting idea, and like the instrumental palette would be very uncanny, almost like Aphex Twin mixed with like rock music, like Rush mixed with like like some synth pop stuff. Like, it was a cool idea, and I still want to do that one day. But like like I just have so many ideas. It's like, God, it's awesome. But I think what's better though is that mainstream music right now is sometimes very generic, right? Like, I just wish people would get weirder, because if I can just think of that weird album and turn it into a cool thing, right? Imagine what someone can do with like their biggest like idea, right? They could make literally the best album of the decade if they wanted to, but they don't do it because commercials, the labels or anything, bro. Just like do it. You know what I mean? Put it out there. Make something crazy. I'm running out of albums to like listen to and think about. You know what I mean? Like, I just need something.
Like nowadays, there's like so much music. Those weird experimental ones stick out way more. Like, my favorite album recently is By the Time We Get to Phoenix. I think I said that right. The Injury Reserve one.
Oh yeah, bro, that album. Oh my gosh.
Oh no,
bro. Top picks for you. Feels, I swear to God. I swear. Bro, I don't even know what that synth lead is. You know that thing where it's like, wah, wah, wah? I'm like, what is that? It's like a flute, it's a guitar, it's a sample. And then, bro, like, the train is still on schedule. It's like, geez. Like, that's, like, that album is so hard.
Outside.
And, bro, the first song, too, where, like, it starts out as just, like, spoken word on, Outside. And, like, it's just, like, almost like spoken word passage over this ambience. Then it turns into this, like, synth pop glitchy track where it's like, ooh. Okay, you know what I mean? It's like, we need more albums like that where it's weird, but it's focused, and it's got like a concept, and it's literally like just a giant like
a good way
world
of
that you
it's like
make
making
through this
a world.
album, you know?
Like, it's very self-contained, where all the songs sound super crazy and experimental, but they all sound not like the same, but they sound alike. Like, they fit in the album well. I think Rico Nasty's new album did that well too. Yeah. Like, they're all super crazy and different, but they still sort of have like the new sound that she's exploring.
Shoot, man, I don't even listen to Rico Nasty, but I'll do it for you. Because
another one, I feel like if you really liked By the Time I Get to Phoenix, do you listen to Standing on the Corner?
Standing on the Corner. They have that song called Vomits, right? Yeah, that's the one.
If you go back,
playlist,
I mean,
I like Standing on
they
the
have
Corner.
2 albums. They have the Standing on the Corner, like, self-titled one. And that one's like, it's.
Is that the one where like
it's like still experimental?
Like the Twin Towers, yeah.
But
that's
it's definitely like, if you sit down and listen to the other album, Redburns, it's just 2 songs. They're both 30 minutes long. It's like a play. It's amazing. If
side X, side Y. Oh my gosh. Bro, that album cover slaps.
If you're gonna listen to anything after this interview, I would skip the Rico Nasty and hit the Redburns. This is an experience.
Thank you.
Of
I'll
album,
definitely
like
check that out.
It just makes me want them to make more music.
That's awesome. That's what's up. Yeah, bro, I think another conversation like people in the underground or just in general to have is the album covers, bro. I saw this Little Baby released like a teaser for his new album coming out, bro. That album cover sucked. I'm sorry. It was like, I think it's called, like I'm on Time or something. I don't know what the album's called, but it's him and like this valley. And in the background is Mount Rushmore with like 4 different faces of him, and there's goats eating grass next to him. And like, sure, it's a cool visual, but like, what is, like, really? That's what you're gonna put on for the music you've worked for 2 years on? You know what I mean? Something like Redburns, though, I'm looking at it right now. I've never heard this album, but it just makes me want to play it. Just the way that, like, you know, it's like almost like a drawing. It's very cryptic. There's like a post-it note of some sort. Yeah. It's so interesting. You know what I mean? And I had this album cover for Godspeed too. It's probably more interesting than the one that's out now, but I think the one that's out now fits the album more, right? It's like, but like, just like albums, like, bro, Still in Traffic Cones, that album cover, it's so weird if you look at it. Like, it makes no sense. It's like, it's a vinyl, right? But it's got like a picture of some dude with a spoon on his mouth. There's my friend Evan. Shout out Evan. And then, it's like it's got this little yellow bar at the bottom for no reason. It just adds this aesthetic, and it's got this like little circle thing popping out from behind the picture, and it's got this border. It's so weird, but it gives it this like interesting vibe. It's so much more cool than looking at like if you're trying to make like an album cover that just looks like a vinyl, right? Like you can do that, but if you're making an album cover that looks like a vinyl and then adding stuff on top of it, then you got something cool. You know what I mean? You got something different. You got like a creative vision. And that's why I love making all my album covers, especially with Oscar Tate, bro. Oscar Tate album covers are different. I love Oscar Tate album covers.
Vaporwave aesthetic vibes. Especially the Dominic one.
I love those covers cuz they make no sense. Bro, Dominic is so cool. I love the Oscar Tate album covers cuz like I don't think about it too much, and it just like it's just I compile it and it just looks cool. Like it just looks interesting. Dominic makes no sense. That cover should not exist, but it does, and it works, and it's awesome. Like, and it just I don't know.
So well too. Like yeah,
vibe. Yeah. Man. Keebler and Kill Girl too, bro. I love that album cover. With like I think that those like two, it's a boy and a girl just standing there, and they're both like wearing a dress and a suit, right? That was like from like a Snap story, like you know the suggested Snap stories, like I just took a picture of that or something. There was like these two got married when they were 14, or I just took a picture of it, made it black and white, slapped this little trapezoid in the back with a gradient. It looks so sick, and it makes no sense, but it just looks cool. Like I think more people just need to make album covers that just represent the album, but not in like a cliche, like you know if you have an album called The Goat and you put a goat on your cover, if I made the album like, you know, if the album Dominic was just a picture of a dude named Dominic, I could probably make it go hard. But like this one's way more interesting. You know what I mean? Like it's like Kids See Ghosts is a perfect example. Like there's so many ways that album cover could have gone, but just like matching the aesthetic of the album is the perfect way to do it because it's ambiguous, it's interesting, it gets people involved with a single frame, right? And it's like it's like a snapshot of the world the album makes, and it's great. I love it. So,
I feel like even
a little bit of a random album covers.
Even when you try to do something, I don't know if you try to do something simple with like the Jacob Batalone tape cover. It's still like not just a picture of him. Like you got to give it something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like it's interesting. It's weird. Some covers are just like weird on like I don't even, like ink on matte is so simple. I don't know, but it gives a vibe, So it's like it's just whatever creates that vibe, whatever matches the album, just go with that. You know what I mean? Like Jid the Forever Story, I love that album so much. I think that like the album cover's dope, but like if it was something like shoot, man, like I don't even know. Yeah. I just think that like the colors and stuff don't match, and maybe that's just me nitpicking. I don't know. I'm sorry, Jid the Forever Story cover fans. It's a great cover. It's just I think it would work better on like another album, because that album when I hear it, I'm thinking of like a very kind of laid back, almost like smoke in the air, like almost like a very like a brownish like lightish color going on. It's like a very holy, almost like peaceful album in a way, and I don't know, that's what I think of. I don't know, I don't know, I'm just ranting.
I think I don't know, album covers are definitely underappreciated. It's a dying medium. I don't know, probably just because streaming, I don't know, you don't like see the album cover when you buy it, but like I don't know if you're into vinyls. I know you do sampling. I don't know if you ever sample for vinyls, but
oh yeah, I got like a thing back there behind this door. I think I got like maybe 20. I don't got too much, but it's enough,
Ooh,
I think the rarest vinyl I got, though, I got OK Computer. Now that's what's up. I love that. What? I love that. I found it.
I think my grail is I got King Ghidorah the other week. Take Me to Your Leader. Yeah.
Bro, like MF Doom.
And it came with a little on the back.
Oh, that's so sick.
It came with like a sheet of paper with a bunch of things you could cut out to like fold and make the album cover. I think that's also also
that's
an
so
underappreciated
dope. That's so awesome.
thing is like albums definitely, but even like vinyl inserts. Like if you're gonna make a physical release.
Bro, hold up.
Got you.
Yo, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull something that's gonna blow your mind. Hold up. 1 second. Hopefully I look good standing up because I know. Hold up.
Oh Oh shit, the no oath.
Bam, baby. Look at that. That's what's up. This is real too. I don't got my headset on, so I can't hear too much, but bro, hold up. Get this out of the packaging. It's
nice.
Double vinyl. It's actually real. It plays
so
the
cool.
music. It's my god. And there you go. You got the track list as well.
Did you ever,
with like
I remember
the,
seeing on one of your stories that you're gonna make
I
I remember on one of your stories you said you're gonna make a 7-inch or something with Me and My Synths. Did that ever come to fruition? Did that ever happen?
Oh yeah. I wanted to do that, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I post stuff on my story after I think about it for 5 seconds, and I don't do anything with it. Like I just like have ideas, and then I just post them, and then I just forget about them. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I'll do something one day, but then again, I'm just saying
there's only
that,
so much you can do when you're independent, and
what
like you are. Like you're already doing so much, especially. I feel like promoting on TikTok and Instagram. Like I try to do that with my like weekly radio show, and even just posting like 2 times a week is it's too much. I can't imagine like doing multiple a day like you do on multiple platforms.
I gotcha.
I mean, how much of that is sort of like how much of that is you just messing around on social media, and how much of it is like, I need to be engaging with people to get my music going?
Shoot, man, I'll do like I'll do this thing where instead of just making a TikTok like whenever I feel like it, I'll just take like an hour out of my day and make like 30 drafts just so I can like, if I'm at school or something and I'm like starting math class, I can just go to a draft and upload it instead of just like, you know, being there like, hey guys, I'm in math class, look at that, here's my music, and then I type it out, right? I think TikTok is more like I kind of have to. I don't like to post too much, maybe like once or twice a day or something. Sometimes I'll go for like the 10 a day, bro, just pumping it out. Why not? You know what I mean? But like, I don't like to do it too much because it feels more forced. Instagram though is where I'm just like, I'm like out there. You know what I mean? Like I'm just doing some weird stuff. I'm just having fun with it. You know what I mean? Most of the stuff that like, you know, I post on my stories or something. I posted a story yesterday of me making an omelet with a song from Jid's new album or something. Like that was just like, I just thought of that. Like I was listening to Jid's album while making an omelet, and I take a picture of the egg that I messed up, and I post it on my story with the song I was listening to, which is Cody Blue 31, which is like the best song off that album. And like I don't know, that's just, it was like a 5-second thing, and I did it, and that's there now forever. So, you know, I think Instagram, I'm way more liberal with what I just put out.
I feel
there.
like it's
for my mind, you know what I mean?
Probably good to have them separated where like, I don't know, like you sort of feel like you have to do TikTok. Yeah, I guess TikTok sort of, I mean, it's like barely like videos, like music videos, but it's sort of like giving visuals to your songs. Have you ever thought about doing like longer form, sort of like music video style things, or just like visuals for songs?
I would love to, bro. I would love to, but I don't really have time. You know what I mean? Like I could, but it would probably take a whole afternoon to shoot it, and then I gotta edit it, which would take like a whole other day. And then I'd have to, you know, promote it, and then it wouldn't really do anything either. You know what I mean? So it's like, at that point, it's like you pay somebody, right? But then it's like, oh, I'm paying for this. I'm not even like, you know, I'm not really too much of a part of it. So it's like, I don't know. Like longer form content, it's cool. But I'm not in that position to do it right now. I'm a busy man. I got homework. I got like school. I gotta mix and master my music. I gotta, you know, promote. I gotta hang out with my family. Bro, one thing I realized, like eating food and using the restroom and everything, it takes up so much of my day. Like you would think you'd write it off as like, oh, 5 minutes. But bro, it's like you rack it up. It's like an hour and a half you're spending just downstairs in the kitchen eating or using the restroom or doing something. And that adds up, and I can't make music for that hour and a half. You know what I mean? It's like people don't account for that. There's some stuff that goes on that takes a while. Yeah,
especially when you're still in high school.
Driving home from school,
just
bro.
so much stuff. I mean, I even get that in college sometimes. It's like I definitely don't need to be doing this right now, but oh well. I guess, I mean, it sounds like you're kind of just in the music 100%. I was going to ask if there's anything sort of outside of music that you keep yourself entertained with, but.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much music 100%. I play Xbox with the boys sometimes, you know what I mean? Shout out the game Knockout City. Nobody plays that game, but I love it so much. It's so good. It's got like 200 peak people playing in like one day or something. Like it's not very popular. but I love that game, and I'm good at it too. I was diamond. That's the highest rank, by the way, everybody
Anybody
who's
want to
listening.
smoke,
I'm
hit up
really good at that
Scubadiver.
game. Anyways, but yeah, Xbox. Yeah, anybody wants to smoke from a dodgeball game, you can go get it. But like, yeah, music. I'm watching The Sopranos. That's a pretty good show. I usually watch The Sopranos while I'm playing Xbox when nobody's on, or I'm just mixing and mastering stuff on the side, you know what I mean? Or just sending beats or something. Because I usually just multitask a lot. It's like a thing where if I'm watching a TV show, why don't I watch a TV show while I'm doing this thing? Or why don't I mix my music while I'm driving around in GTA for no reason? Because I can listen to the music and drive around, and it'd be kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, that's literally my mindset. It's like, why am I eating right now with no music if I could eat and watch like a YouTube video or something? It's just stuff like that where like, you know, it saves time, I guess, and it's better for me, you know. But yeah, that's kind of me. I had this. I like film a lot. If I wasn't making music, I'd make movies, but I can't make movies on my own in my house. You know what I mean? Like. So music is great because I have the DAW like sitting in, I can see the icon on my app screen right now. I could pull it up and make something, you know what I mean? And I could complete it like in like 4 hours if I wanted to, if I was grinding really hard. A movie, bro, that takes a while.
Yeah.
You can't really, you know what I mean? You can't do too much.
Yeah, and
with
I feel like,
but it's just anything creative. I'm into it.
I mean, you can
me.
still make movies on low budget, but not the same with music nowadays. You can just get GarageBand for free and download anything from r/drumkits and just be going.
Exactly, bro. The Lunch 77 drum kit that he co-produces every single one of my songs. I swear, bro. All those drum kits.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel that, like, I mean, I feel like people are sort of pretentious with stuff like that, but I don't know. Do you think that in the underground, people just kind of use what they can? Do you think it's, like, an issue, or I don't know, do you think some people are sort of, like, gatekeepy in the underground, or is that not really around?
I don't know. I think if people are gatekeeping, it's usually a joke. There's a dude named Aviad. I love Aviad. He got a JID placement. He's on Dance Now, bro. And Dance Now. Yeah, he produced that. He gave the sample, I think. I don't know if he did the drums or not, but I know he did find the sample. Anyways, Aviad, like, whenever somebody asks him, like, on his TikTok, like, hey, like, what's the sample, bro? He's like, hey, man, you know, it's actually really personal to me. I don't know if I can really say it. It has a connection to me. And he does that for every single comment that asks him that. I think it's hilarious. And, like, it's like a joke kind of way, right? But, like, you know, when people ask me what, like, sample I'm using when I'm making a beat and, like, I don't tell them, they think I'm gatekeeping, but it's really because I can't really see it because I screen record it and I put it to an MP4 to MP3 and it comes out as, like, R replay 4715 or 4716 or something. And, like, I can't really see what the sample is, and I don't want to go into my files and look for the thing and pull it up and be like, here it is, because I'm too lazy to do that. So it's usually just a matter of me, like, you know, I'm just too lazy to give people the sauce.
When you're finding samples, is it more like the sample comes first and it inspires the song? Yeah. Or is it more like you have a song, you're like, oh, I really need this, like, this certain type of thing, and then you go looking for it?
I think it's more like I find the sample first. There's like maybe 1 or 2 times like this year that I've had an idea for something and I need this specific sample, right? If I want like a specific sample, like for an acoustic guitar, right? You don't find a lot of good acoustic guitar samples because most of them are just like, you know, like from the 60s, they're usually mixed strong or they have some things on top of it or there's vocals, right? Bro, there's a hack I do where you look up like a song with good chords, acoustic cover on YouTube. Bam, you sampled the acoustic cover, you flip it, take the chords around, you know what I mean? And then you got something that you can use. That's like one of my hacks. But yeah, like I'll find a sample of like some, you know, gospel song, and I'll be really into like the sound of like some 90s breakbeat stuff at the time. But I'll hear something gospel and I'll be like, ooh, I could do something with that. And then she like gives like a weird ad-lib like or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I could use that and loop it or reverse it or like loop, you know what I mean? I could just do some cool stuff with that. So I think every producer kind of has that to some extent is what I'm like saying right now.
Sort of
but
like
you know,
you find a bunch of stuff, put it in the vault.
That's how I go about it usually.
This is what I need. Like this is the Word. Well,
yes, sir.
I feel like we're running out of questions here. I mean, already asked anything else you want to talk about, but I mean, anything you got going on recently? Anything coming up besides the album?
Shoot, man. I don't even know.
Mhm.
I'll probably release some more singles. I got some more singles on the way, obviously. Talked to a label the other day. That was pretty dope. That was awesome. I don't know if I can say too much about that, but it happened. It was pretty cool. Makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
got the
When
label
people
meeting,
like
you got the
important hit me
WKNC
up, I feel like,
interview.
yes, sir. You know what I mean? Exactly, bro. Honestly, this interview's so dope. Like, I love interviews, and like,
yeah, I feel like
you're good at this stuff, so it's awesome.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
love to hear that.
Like,
Yeah, and
I've
it's been a lot of fun
genuinely
talking
had a
to you. I
good
feel like
time.
it's nice
So-
when people are super passionate about what they do. You got a lot to say about your music, how you make music. I feel like there's a lot of
Yeah.
things people need to be talking about in the underground, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah, you just got such a, I don't know, for such a young
Yes,
guy, you
sir.
got such like a, you've carved out like a little lane for yourself. You got like how you make albums, how you release it. You already got like a little sound to it. Excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, 100%. It's gonna be cool to release it, bro. Cause I got this album in my head right now. It'll probably come out next year sometime. I'm thinking spring, but I got this album in my head right now. Like when I finish it and I execute it, I think I've made 20 songs. There's about 3 that are perfect that I would put on the album 100% right now, right?
Yep.
Because like there are some songs where I'll make it and I'll be like, yeah, it's kind of filler. You know what I mean? So like there are 3 songs. Those 3 songs are like magnificent. So I cannot wait for people to hear it, and like the stuff that comes around them too. I can't, because usually when I make an album, when I finish a song, I'm like, that's the intro or that's the outro. I don't have those yet. So when those come up, it's gonna be crazy because like Collaborate, man.
Yeah.
I think Collaborate was like one of the first songs I made, and I was like, that's the intro. You know what I mean? You know, Junior Ballad was one of like the the last songs.
Definitely.
I was like, that's the outro. Like just because it felt like it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I just love making the album. Just making an album is so dope. Because, I mean, bro, you can do anything. Like, think about it. Plus, I'm self-produced. This is my studio. This is everything I record is right here on this, like, little synth right here in the back. So it's like, if I have an idea, just go in GarageBand and spend, like, 10 minutes doing something and then mix it for another 5. And then 15 minutes, you've added a whole other part to your song that makes it way more interesting. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you bounce a demo. Oh, wait, the highs are too high.
Yeah.
You
You don't
just
have
go
to
into the
wait.
studio and you turn it down a bit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to pay for studio time. I can do whatever I want. Exactly. Bro, I don't know how to play saxophone. Well, guess what? I'll just sample it from somebody else because I can do that. You know, it's like, it's amazing. I love it so much because I can literally do whatever I want. And the only thing that's stopping me is like literally myself. And that sounds so cliche, but that's true. You know what I mean? So like, if I have like an idea for an interlude where it's just like a jazz break, you know, I'll make it. Give me an hour. I'll make something. Maybe I'll use some samples. One thing I don't want to do though, I never like it when people just copy and paste samples. I don't like that. I like chopping them up. I like doing something different with them. But like, I don't know, man. Like that's the beautiful thing about making an album, especially if you're self-producing and mixing it and everything, is because you can literally do whatever you want. And like in this studio right here, I can literally make whatever song is in my brain. Just give me like 5 hours and I'll have it completed. You know what I mean?
What would
like,
you
it's
say
that,
if there
it's
is
that
any,
sick.
is, like,
That's
the
what I
bottleneck?
love about it.
'Cause, I mean, you
so
got your own production gear. You got all the ideas. You got all the music. Do you think it's just like time at that point, just trying to make all the stuff?
Oh, bro, it's 100% time. I don't have enough time. It's so sad. If there was like 5 more hours in the day, bro, that'd be so great. Are you kidding me? Because like I got school, I got homework, I got family, I got to drive. You know, I got to drop people off. I got to hang out with friends sometimes, and that, you know, that's whatever. But like, there's just not enough time. You know what I mean? And it's really tough. But we ball. You know, we get through it.
That is true. We do ball. I feel like
That's the motto.
great
right
way
there.
to end it. I think just before we end it, I feel like you should just tell the listeners sort of like where they can find your music, socials, stuff like that.
Oh, bro. I don't know. Just, you know, Scubadiver on Spotify, Apple Music. When people like DM me or whatever, and they're like, or people on like Instagram or something, or like TikTok, are like, yo, bro, I heard your music, and like, you know, like, I love it, bro, and it's in my playlist or whatever, like, that's the coolest thing ever, you know? So, like, even if it's, like, not, like, your favorite, or not, I don't want to say that, but it could very well be your favorite song, right, if you listen to one of my songs. But, like, even if it's that one song that comes up in your playlist, like, once or twice a week, and you're vibing to it, and you're like, oh, this is that song, and then you move on and go to the next one by Red Veil, or someone by, like, Kanye, and I'm just in your playlist somewhere, that's the coolest thing ever, because I'm part of somebody's, like, rotation, you know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. So, like, I think what I want to leave with is just, like, you know, I'm a musician, and I understand my place. I make music, and, you know, that song in your playlist that is mine is very much appreciated by the artist who made it. So thank you for adding me there. And, yeah, I understand that, you know, people aren't listening to my music 24/7 every week, so I'm just glad that I can be that one little piece of it, I guess, is the awesome thing. Because, yeah, I don't listen to Kanye all the time, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
like,
I got a few songs in my playlist that I'll go through, and it'll be there, you know what I mean? So it's like,
appreciate them listening.
it's kind of dope. Exactly. Like, Denzel Curry, not my favorite artist of all time, but that last album is on rotation for, like, a while. I love that last.
I'm going to see him live next month.
Walk In,
this month. I'm so excited.
Melt Session 1, Ain't No Way.
I think he's AG Club's opening too. I don't know if you know
that's
AG
what's
Club.
up. That's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. People on the alt-right pipeline
I don't know
definitely
AG
have not
Club,
heard AG
unfortunately.
Club, they swear so much. I'm not taking the time to edit all their songs. Well, I'm looking at your Spotify right now. There's sort of like, you know, the top 3 that you have in songs in terms of like streams. You could say like they're the most popular. Those are like Me and My Synths, No Oath, and Summertime. But like, what are your favorite songs that you made that you'd like as an outro telling people if they're gonna listen to 3 of your songs, what would you put them on to?
Ooh. Well, I would start off with Collaborate because it's the intro to Godspeed 2. And if you like Collaborate, you're probably going to vibe with the rest of the album because it's kind of like a grand opener for it. I also, like, I mean, geez, that, I love that song. The chord progression, like, the drums, like, it's so simple. It's so good, though. And then, shoot. I really like Third Person Prayer a lot. Third Person Prayer is dope. That one's been growing a lot, which is awesome. I think it's, like, under Me and My Sense, it's the most, like, you know, growing song. You know what I mean? Like, constantly getting more streams. So it's awesome. I love Third Person Prayer. It's like, at first people, when they hear it, they're like, oh, this is just like some, you know, rap song over like a beat, right? And then it turns into a breakdown, and then it has a chorus, and then it has, you know, this pre-chorus going on, and it has this auto-tune, reverse vocals, and then it goes into an outro with these pitch vocals. It's like, oh, this is different. This is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little slice of, like, you know, just imagination. I love it so much. Yeah. And then
I'm pretty sure that's my number
another
one
song, bro.
on
Alligator. It just goes hard. Like, it's
right
that
now.
simple. Like,
yeah, we got Alligator, Wolf Meow, and then Dip.
That's what's up, bro. I love Alligator. Shy owns that song. Yeah, bro. Shy High owned that song so hard, and I love that song for it. It's amazing. Just it's incredibly interesting sample, like it's acoustic guitar but panned on like the left earphone. It's got this weird like violin thing that like repeats a little bit. It's got this like little synth bridge. It's like, oh man, like come on, like I love that song.
That song is so
like
good.
not even as like I made it, just like as a fan of music. I just love that song.
Fire that one up if anything, especially like that one. Like we were saying before, even if you don't hear it because you heard it in the, like if you just listen to Alligator, you won't hear it, but if you listen to it in the context of Godspeed 2, it has the sort of like long fade intro from the last song. It has the like the drums just come in. I'm like, oh, I know what's coming up next.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's almost like this like hype up, you know, it's almost like it's like one of those like Winter Soldier passages where you hear it and you're like, oh, this is gonna happen now. You know, it's like, geez, like I love that.
Pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming on, sharing your story. Yeah, just do a little outro. Once again, thanks everybody for listening to WKNC 88.1. This is the Alt Rap Pipeline. If you like Scubadiver or any sort of Scubadiver-esque music, tune in Mondays at 5 p.m. for the Alt Rap Pipeline on WKNC 88.1 FM HD1 Raleigh. Again, been here with Scubadiver today. Yeah, thanks for coming in. All right, everybody.
Of course. Thank you for having
I
me.
ended the